Underdog. The 1960 World Series was one of the great underdog stories in Major League Baseball history. It was truly a David and Goliath battle. The powerhouse Yankees dynasty featured superstars like Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, Yogi Berra, and Whitey Ford. Few bookies picked the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Yankees had too much talent. Yet, after 6 games, the series was even. Then came the final game, bottom of the 9th at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. With the score tied, second baseman Bill Mazeroski stepped up to the plate and hit the game-winning home run, worthy of comparisons to young David and his slingshot bullseye to Goliath's forehead. In Scripture, it appears that God sides with the underdog. Besides the David vs. Goliath showdown, another example is the story of Hagar and Ishmael. After Abraham's wife Sarah gave birth to Isaac, she no longer wanted the son Abraham had conceived with the servant girl Hagar. Although it was Sarah's idea for Abraham to father the child, Sarah now saw Ishmael as a threat to Isaac's inheritance. So Abraham sent Hagar and Ishmael to fend for themselves in the wilderness. With her son dying from dehydration, Hagar had given up hope of survival. That's when God's angel came to her and said, "Do not be afraid, for God has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Come, lift up the boy and hold him fast with your hand, for I will make a great nation of him." Genesis 21:17-18. The boy grew up in the wilderness and became a skilled hunter. Ishmael is considered the father of the Arab nations. Of course, in the New Testament, the greatest underdog story of all time is told throughout the Gospels and Book of Acts, the story of Jesus and the birth and growth of the church. This underdog story impacted the history of the world. Here is Jesus' instructions to his disciples. So do not be afraid of them, for there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed or hidden that will not be made known. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs. Matthew 10:26 and 27. Jesus commanded them to not be afraid. Despite the threat of worldly powers to harm and even kill them, Jesus claimed that a greater power would be released in the world through their preaching of the good news of God's forgiveness and grace. God's power would be released. These humble disciples would bring forth a kingdom that worldly powers could not defeat. Today, God still stands with the underdog. Walking with God and trusting in God prepares us for unexpected victory. Through our trials and tribulations, God strengthens us as He strengthened Ishmael in the wilderness. Despite the odds against us, God raises us up to become people who bring powerful and positive change into this dark and decaying world. If you feel like an underdog today, be encouraged. God is preparing you for an unexpected victory.